Hi everyone, Salesforce Admin Training Day 3. Let's see what are we going to learn today. We'll quickly go through the previous session overview. Then we'll talk about the freeze a user. What is freeze user? And then we'll talk about the delete user. And then we'll talk about the reason that we cannot delete the user. Why can't we delete the user? We will see that. And then we'll talk about the profile. In the profile, what is the standard profiles and what are the different properties of profile? And then what is the navigation steps to create a profile? How to create a new profile? And we'll see the requirement. We'll implement a requirement. And then we'll talk about a create a profile, how to edit a profile, how to view a profile, and what is the difference between the user and a profile, and then user profile license. And finally, we'll have a quiz, homework, and today's interview questions. Now, quickly, so what did we learn last class?
Role user, what is the meaning, what they do?
Creating users, multiple users to profile, role definition.
Right.
Create user page in Jira, Confluence.
So creating login credentials to the user, password resetting.
Right. And then
Password policy, login history.
login history, password policy. So is password policy, everybody is clear on that password policy? Any questions on the password policies? I see that few interview question did not answer by the few members. Is everybody clear about the password policy? Okay. Now, yesterday we have created a user. Now, if you go to the home and if you just type here users, or let's go to the administrator users, we have a users tab. Now, yesterday I have created few users here. For example, Himaja is one. Himaja is one user. Now, these are the users we have created. Now, let's suppose if user is going for a vacation. This user is going for a vacation for 1 month. 1 month, this person is going for a vacation. Now, whenever the person is in a vacation, it is showing as an active, but is the user is working here? User is not working. User went for a vacation, holidays, right? He is on leave. The person is on leave. Himaja is on leave. Now, during the leave, suddenly one issue came. During this person is on leave, suddenly one issue came. What is the issue? The login history says, the person has logged in today. This person has logged in today. But actually, as per the company's record, this person is on leave. Now, question will come back to you saying that, did you try to log in from this place? If the person says, no, I have not logged in because I am on leave. I'm on leave. So how can we verify that when the person is on leave, how can we stop the person to access the Salesforce? Whenever the person goes to the vacation, we should restrict logging into the Salesforce. Like for example, maternity leave, right? Or a long vacation. whenever the person will go for a like 1 month break or a 2 months break, right? So that time we should not allow the employees or we should not allow these users to log into the Salesforce, because as per the company, it says that you are on leave. You are on leave. Now, how can we restrict? In order to restrict that person to log in the Salesforce, we have a concept called freeze a user. Freeze a user. Freeze a user is nothing but temporarily suspend a user account. Now, usually in the police department, whenever the police officer is going for a vacation or whenever they are not doing the good job, if the company wants to give them as a leave, then what they say, we are suspending you. That means you do not have access to any of our issues. Similarly, in Salesforce also, we can suspend the user for some time. We can suspend the user for some time. Sometime means person when the person who is on
క్లాస్ లో ఉన్నా అన్న ఒక నిమిషం 8 to 10 క్లాస్
the person who is on leave. If the person is on leave, we should not allow the user to access the Salesforce. In that case, I'm going to say I'm suspending the user. I'm suspending the user. The navigation steps for this is we have a setup, administrator, user. Click on a user record. There is a button called freeze. If you click on here, freeze. If you click on this button freeze, what will happen? It will automatically, the person will lose the access. That means whenever the person is on vacation, if we do not want to allow them to log into the Salesforce, that means if we wanted to deactivate for some time, then better do it freeze. Do not click on this deactivate. Do not click on this deactivate, because as soon as you remove this, now what is this Salesforce platform user? Salesforce platform user. Now let me show you something here. Now let's go to the company information. In the company's information, we have a user licenses. We have user licenses. You can go to the company information or else you can go to the system information. There is something called as a system overview. Now here, Salesforce platform license. This is Salesforce platform. Now Salesforce platform, what it says, total license is 3. How many used is 3? How many used? 3. Now if I deactivate this person, let's assume that if I deactivated, I'm deactivating the user. As soon as I deactivate the user, the license will go away. The license will go away for that user. That means right now it is going to say that before it was a used license is 3, now it is 2. That means we are removing the license access for this user. Now, when the person is on vacation, do we really need to remove the license? No, we need not to remove the license. License should be occupied with that person. License should be occupied with the person. The person is still working with the company. He has not resigned it. He is still working with the company. The license should be allocated for this user. Only the thing is that for some time we need to suspend the user. So keep the active, do not check this deactive, keep the active because the license should be applied. Only thing that what we have to do is click on this freeze. Click on this freeze. Whenever we click on a freeze, the button gets changed freeze to the unfreeze. Freeze means we are blocking, we are suspending the user. Now nobody can log in. Now this is left. If you want to unfreeze it, you can unfreeze here. Now let me show you with one example. Let me try with another Salesforce, like we have a Messi. Now this is the user details. Let me try to log in as this user. Now here, login.salesforce.com. I'll try to log in as that person. Now I'm able to log in as that person, right? As a Messi, I'm able to log in. As a Messi, I'm able to log in. So if you look at the user, here is Lionel Messi. Now let me log out. Now what I'll do is, let's assume that Messi is on vacation. Whenever this person is on vacation, I'll say that freeze it. I'll say freeze it. That means do not allow the person to log in. Now let me go back, refresh here. Now let me enter the username and the password is. Now click on login. Now what it says that please check your username password. If you still cannot log in, contact your Salesforce administrator. That means the person itself is not able to log in because we have suspended. We have suspended, but the license is allocated for this user. But the license is allocated for this user. We just suspended for some time. As soon as you say unfreeze, once the person is back from vacation, you can click on unfreeze. Now you can try here. You can try this and now they are able to log in the Salesforce. Once the user is back, I can unfreeze it. Once it is unfreeze, the user will be able to log in. So that is the purpose of freeze and unfreeze. Purpose of freeze and unfreeze, right? So is everybody clear about the freeze and unfreeze?
Ma'am.
Okay. Now
Ma'am,
that
directly we need to go for users, and from there we need to directly that option will be shown, right? This freezer and editor.
yes, on the user level, it will be visible.
Okay. Ma'am.
Now the next one is a delete user. Next one is delete user. Now, if you look at here, users, in these users, is there anywhere the delete option is visible? I cannot see delete button on the users tab. When you click on a users tab, I cannot see delete button here. If I open any user, am I able to see the delete button here? I cannot see the delete button. I cannot see the delete button here. Delete button is not available. That means once the user is added in Salesforce, once the user is added in the Salesforce, we cannot delete the user from Salesforce. Once the user is added in Salesforce, you cannot delete the user from Salesforce, which is not possible. Which is not possible. You cannot delete it. You cannot delete it. Instead of that, what you can do is you can deactivate the user. There is a no option to delete the user, but instead of that, what you can do, you can deactivate the user. What will happen if I deactivate the user? License will be released from the deactive user. That means whatever the license is occupied for that user, as soon as you say deactivate this user, is similar to the delete user, Now, right now we did it for the deactivate. So when we did a deactivate, the license got released. The license got released. So as soon as the license got released, that means we have a one space to create another user. Now, as soon as I deactivate the user, That means it is almost equal to delete. Now, first thing is that what is the purpose that Salesforce does not have a delete? What is the purpose that Salesforce does not have a delete user? Anybody? What is the purpose that Salesforce does not have a delete option? There is no delete button.
To maintain the customer information for a long period of time. For more information, if there is any update, then for the customer information is required. No, whoever to maintain the records.
Okay. Okay. Now, whenever the user is created, so whenever the user is created, for example, I'm creating a user here. I'm creating a user. One user, I'm creating it. Whenever a user is created, assume that this is the user one. Whenever the user is created, this user is connected to the specific role and a profile. Specific role and profile and certain level of access. As soon as the user is created, he will be associated with certain role, license, profile. Maybe role is not mandatory here, but definitely the license will be there. License and profile. License and profile. He should be assigned to this. That means overall what we are saying is certain level of access we are giving. Certain level of access we are giving. Now, for what we are giving certain level of access for Salesforce database. For Salesforce database, that means this certain level of access is either the user can create a record or edit a record, update a record, something they are doing it. When they are doing the update, when they are doing the update a record, or when they are doing the create a record or update a record, or they are deleting the record, some action they are doing it. Whenever they are doing these actions, what is happening here? These actions are ultimately this user is connected. Ultimately, this user is, whenever this user is performing this, whenever this user is performing these actions, ultimately it is connected to the database. Ultimately, this user, whatever this user is doing this action, it is connected to the database. Salesforce database. It is connected to the database. Now, if I delete this user, what will happen? All the data that this user has updated in the database, those data also get deleted. Certain data will be deleted. Now, what will happen in that case? It is a problem with data. The data will be corrupted. The data will be corrupted. So that means we have a very strong bonding between the user and a database. Strong bonding between the user and a database. Whenever the user is performing any action, ultimately it is connected to the Salesforce database. If I delete a user, ultimately there is a data that is entered by that user will be removed. That means whenever the data is removed from the database, your data is corrupted. Your data is corrupted. So when it is entirely corrupted, your entire functionality is going to fail. Your entire functionality is going to fail. Now, in that case, that is the reason Salesforce does not offer a delete user. Salesforce does not offer delete user. Now, the reason for cannot delete the users in Salesforce is each user is connected to the specific role and certain level of access, certain level of your Salesforce database access. Salesforce database access.
Is it possible to modify the user details
What do you mean by?
like name and any other ones? Instead of delete the user.
Yeah, you can modify the name. You can change the first name, last name.
Do they do that?
You can update. So for example, here I have a Leoniel. Okay. So if it is a Leoniel is there. Now you wanted to update some other data. Now you wanted to update that. Instead of this, you can say here 1, 2 and 1, 2. You can update this first name and last name. Similarly, you can update the email also. Those data can be updated, but you cannot change anything. Apart from the first name, last name, email, you cannot change it. Username has to be same. Because sometimes what happens is one user is already working in the company. This user has a credentials, the login access which is already there. The Salesforce login access is there and he is already working in the company. Now this user has resigned. This user has resigned and there is another user is joined the company. When the another user is joined the company, instead of creating a new record for this user, few companies, what they suggest is, can we change the email ID? Whatever the previous user is there, can we change the email ID of the previous user to the new user so that this user can use the same access? New user can use the same access, but only the thing is that email needs to be changed. Whatever the latest user that is joined the company, that user email ID should be updated. But there is a problem here. We can do that, but there is a problem. Tomorrow, after 6 months, after 1 year, there is a problem that is raised by the company saying that this user has modified something 1 year back. This user 1 has modified. They don't know whether user 1 or user 2, they don't know. Client does not know. Now what they will do is this user is modified something 1 year back. It is getting a problem right now. Now company is going to go and ask the user 2. User 2 says that I joined 6 months back. I don't know 1 year back what is happened. I just joined 6 months back. How can I do it in 1 year back? So these kind of issues might raise. So that's the reason we do not change anything email IDs. So whenever the client definitely suggests this thing, but whenever the client suggests this, we have to explain the client, these are the problems that is going to arise. Because tomorrow, if you raise something that this user has messed up something, or user has updated the wrong details 1 year back. No, I cannot go back to that particular user because this user is 6 months back only, he has joined. Right? So these kind of a data issues will come. So that's the reason what we do is we simply deactivate it. Instead of changing the email ID or a name, we simply deactivate and create a new user. Now we need to convince the client. So if the clients are convinced, then we can deactivate the old user and we can activate the new user.
But madam, records having the history, madam, time and date, which create the dates.
Yes, created date, whenever you have created, the date will be the created date and modified date will be here. Now, Archana, when you are deactivating the user, which type of user you are deactivating? Salesforce license user. Okay, so when you are deactivating the Salesforce license user, the first thing is that change the case owners. As a that user, have you created any records? If you have created any records, you cannot deactivate it. First thing is that you need to update all the related records, whatever the data is created by this user. Now, same example, whatever the data is created by this user, if you want to deactivate it, first check, especially the owner field, There is especially for the opportunity, lead, case, there should not be any owner of this person, because right now this person is not there. You are deactivating this person. If you deactivate this person, this case, who should be taking care of it? Now you are saying that case owner is this person. Case owner is this person. So whenever the case owner is this person, if the person is deactivated, who is the person needs to be taken care? There should be somebody has to take care of it, right? Now that's the reason you need to update the case owner first, who should be taking care of it if this person is deactivated. So update those details and then deactivate it. You cannot simply deactivate. So that's the reason we have to check entire data. Now deleting an user from Salesforce can entirely corrupt or disable a certain data. Related data would be removed. That means it is corrupted. Yes, it is possible to change the owner name. You have a option there. You can change it. We will see that later. So it is possible to change the case owner, lead owner, opportunity owner. You can change it. Now, deleting a user from Salesforce can entirely corrupt or disable a certain data. Related data would be also ruined. That means the exact data, what are the data that is updated by the user, as well as what are the related records are there. Those data also will be deleted. Those data also will be deleted. Now, any questions on the user? Till now, since yesterday, whatever we have discussed till now. Data redundancy, yes, we will see that later, but user specific, are you asking? If it is a user specific, that's what I told you, user specific, we will not delete. If you do not delete, that's the reason Salesforce did not give the delete option there. So one of the way is whatever the user has created, that will be the same as it is. But whenever you are deactivating it, just check what is the related record that is created by this user. If this user is not there, then if this user is not there, who is going to take care of that case or that opportunity, that lead? Those details needs to be updated. Expire all password is nothing but whatever the users that are there inside the Salesforce, everybody's password will be expired along with the person who has logged in. Whoever is clicking on expire all password, that person, your credentials also, the password also will expire. Do not do that expire all password at all in the real time. It is expire all password is nothing but complete organization users. What are the users are there in the organization? All the users will be deactivated. The password will be expired. Now question, how to freeze a user?
Go to setup.
Go to
Now
setup.
go to user.
Administration
Setup
setup
user and click on
user,
freeze button.
user and then
Click on freeze. Select the account and record and
Right. Right. Yes, you can activate it. You can do that, which is possible. But what you need to check is, do you have a license or not? For example, Salesforce platform. Salesforce platform has 3 licenses. 3 licenses. Now it has 3 licenses. When it has a 3 licenses, now for 3 licenses, you have created a 3 users. 3 users you have created. Now suddenly, third person, can you go on mute, please? Whoever is not speaking. The person, suddenly what happened is, one person out of this, one user going on vacation. One user going for a vacation. When he is going for a vacation, now what you will do, assume that you are deactivating it. Assume that ideally you should freeze the user. Ideally, you should freeze the user. But what you did is you have deactivated. You have deactivated the user. Deactivated the user. When you deactivated the user, what happened when you deactivate the user? When you deactivate the user, the license gets released. The license gets released. That means now we have a 2 license in the Salesforce. Now we have a 2 license in the Salesforce. Before it was a 3 licenses. For 3 licenses, we have created a 3 users. Out of 3 users, 1 user is going on a vacation. So what you did is, instead of a freeze, you have deactivated the user. When you deactivated the user, it says that now 1 license is available. 1 license is available out of 3. 1 license is available out of 3. Out of 3. That means 2 licenses are already used. 2 licenses are already used. Now, as you, in the meantime, this person is going for a vacation for around 2 months. As in that this person is going for a vacation for 2 months. Now, suddenly in the meantime, there is a new user has joined. New user has joined. When the new user has joined, and this new user is related to the, this new user is Salesforce platform user. Now what I'll do, now I see that 1 license is available. What I'll do, I'll create a 1 user. I'll create a 1 user. Now what happened here? All the 3 licenses are utilized. All the 3 licenses are utilized. Tomorrow, the vacation person will come back. Vacation person will come back to the office. Whoever is went for the vacation, the person will come back. When the person will come back, if you try to activate the person, will you able to activate the user, whoever is went for the vacation?
No.
Will you able to
No.
activate the user?
No,
Reason?
3 licenses are utilized.
3 licenses are already utilized. So if the person is already working in the company, do not deactivate that user. Instead of that, just freeze the user. That means the license should be occupied with this user, but for some time, I'm suspending this user, freezing this user, but we need the license of that user. So in this scenario, this is one of the scenario why we do not go for a deactivate if the person is already working. Right? Once the person is come back, if you try to activate the user, you will not be able to do it. If you have done the freeze a user, then you can, once the person is come back, then you can unfreeze it. Because license is already occupied. License is already occupied. So you can do the deactivate, activate, freeze, unfreeze, everything you can do it, but you need to check what is the licenses that are available for a single profile. What is the licenses are available for each one of them that you need to cross verify. Now homework. there is no limitation. So user creation is, there is no limitations. Only thing is that client and Salesforce has to have a discussion there. So client will give a documentation, how many users will be there in my org. So based on that, Salesforce is going to give you. If they say that I have 1,000 users, so Salesforce will give you the license only related to the 1,000 users. So 1,000 Salesforce users or 1,000 Salesforce platform users. If there are more users, client has to discuss with the Salesforce company that I have a few more users who needs the access. So Salesforce will give you. It's all a deal between the company and a client, client and a Salesforce. There is no restriction. You have to create these many users. Now homework is freeze a existing user in Salesforce. Description, freeze following the user. You have already created these users yesterday. Prahalad Joshi, Anurag Singh, Kumar Shah. So freeze these users. Note down the homework. Okay, is everybody noted homework? Now next one is a homework 4. Delete the existing user in Salesforce. Delete the existing following users in Salesforce for a charter-free license. Yesterday you have created a charter-free licenses. Delete the Ashwini. Delete the existing user. What it says, delete the existing user. Ashwini Goyal and Jyoti Singh, and username is Haridev Joshi. These are the users you need to delete. So delete means what you will do?
Deactivate.
Deactivate. You need to deactivate it. Now everybody noted down this one. Now, let's move on. Now the concept is, we are going to move on the concept called profile. Now we have understood the user. Now next one is a profile. Next one is a profile. Yesterday we have seen what is the profile? What is the profile? Profile that is attached to the user. One user will be linked to the one profile. What is a profile?
Profile is
Yeah.
accessing the objects and
Access to do that work.
Set of permissions.
They can.
What can a person can do?
What users can do? Set of permissions. Right. So basically what users can do is called as a, or a set of permissions is called as a profile. Now deactivate or freeze, both are not same. That's what I was telling before. Freeze is you are freezing it, suspending it. Deactivate is you are deleting it. Deactivate is nothing but you are releasing the license for that user. Profile is a set of permission that what user can do, right? So profile is determines what user can do in Salesforce. What user can do Salesforce. That means controlling the accessibility of Salesforce data. Controlling the accessibility of Salesforce data and its related action is called as a profile. That means if I assign some profile to a user, if I assign a profile to user, what user can access? That means I'm controlling the access for the user, what user can access, what user can do. I'm controlling the accessibility of Salesforce data and its related action by assigning the profile to user. And profiles are there are two types of a profiles. Two types of a profiles. One is a standard profile. Second one is a custom profile. There are two types of profiles, standard profile, custom profile. So profile is having a two types, which is a standard profile, and the second one is a custom profile. Second one is a custom profile. Now let's see what is the standard profile, what is the custom profile. What is the standard profile, what is the custom profile? Now, we know that profile is having the two types, standard profile and custom profile. What is the standard profile? Standard profile is by default Salesforce provides, below, there are some certain standard profiles, it is provided by them. That means standard profiles are provided by Salesforce. By default, Salesforce will provide standard profiles. When we have a standard profile, we cannot delete the standard ones. We cannot delete the standard profiles. We cannot delete the standard profiles once, because they are the ones which are provided by the Salesforce. Now, Salesforce is providing the standard profiles. Whenever we see the standard profiles, those profiles cannot be deleted. Cannot be deleted. And each of these standard ones include the default set of permissions. Now, Salesforce is providing a 34 standard profiles. Total 38 are there. Out of 38, 34 are standard profiles. Now, whenever they are providing the 34 standard profile, let's assume 38 profiles. Salesforce is providing 38 profiles. When they are providing the 38 profiles, each profile will have a different set of permission set. Each profile has different set of permission set for all the standard objects available in the platform. Each and every profile has a different set of permissions for all of the standard profiles. For all of the profiles. So whatever we have a 38 profiles, all the 38 profiles will have a different set of permissions. Now the next one is a custom profiles. Custom profiles is nothing but the one which developer creates it. The one
Could you explain the last point once again?
Sorry?
Could you explain that last point once again?
Salesforce has provided 38 profiles. Now let's go back to the Salesforce here. Now in order to go to the Salesforce, either you can search directly here profiles, or else user click on a profiles here. Once you click on a profiles, you will see there are few profiles which are automatically displaying it. Right? So there are total 39 are there. There are total 39 are there. Now out of these 39, now let me give here, out of 39, there are few profiles. Salesforce is providing the standard profiles as well as the custom profiles. Okay, so total 39 profiles are there. Now what are the standard profiles are there? How do I know that whether it is a standard profile or a custom profile? Here we have an option called custom. Here we have an option called custom. Now, wherever the checkbox is not there, that means those are standard profiles. Wherever the checkbox is there, those are custom profiles. Now, whatever these profiles are there, total 39 profiles it is giving. These custom profiles are also provided by the Salesforce. These custom profiles also provided by the Salesforce. Now, here each profile. Now you see here, we have a standard user, contract manager, marketing user, solution manager, authenticated website, high volume, charter external. Whatever we have a profiles here, each profile will have a different set of permissions for the all the standard objects and whatever the different type of a security, everything, whatever we have. So each one of them has a different set of a permission. Now, if you look at the standard user, it has a different set of permission. If you look at the marketing user, it has a different set of permissions. When you look at the charter external user, it has a different set of permissions. When you look at the partner community user, it has a different set of permissions. When you look at the force.com free user, it has a different set of permissions. Similarly, if you look at the silver partner user, it has a different set of permissions and different licenses. Now that means each profile has its own set of permissions. Like a standard platform user has its own permission. Customer community login has its own set of permissions. So every profile has whatever the Salesforce is providing here, all 39 will have its own set of permissions. Is that clear?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, so now here standard profiles, custom profiles, how can we identify? So wherever the checkbox is not available, that means it is a standard profile. For standard profile, we do not have a delete option here. You cannot delete the standard profile. And out of 39, 4 profiles are also provided by the Salesforce. Those are custom profiles. Out of 39, there are 4 custom profiles which are provided by Salesforce. Out of 39, 4 provided by the 4 custom profiles also provided by the Salesforce. Now, this custom one has a delete option. This custom one is having a delete option. So custom, usually in the real time, custom profile is nothing but they are the one created by the either admin, either developer or a client admin team. Or else if there is nothing custom one, then by default Salesforce is providing the 4 custom profiles. Out of 39, they are providing the 4 custom profiles. Now, they can be deleted if there are no users assigned. Now, you can delete the custom profiles only when there are no users. You can delete the custom profiles if there are no users are assigned to that particular profile. If there are no users are assigned to the particular profile, then only you can delete it. Now, that means here I have a profile. So this is the profile 1. This is profile 1. So this profile 1 can connect to the multiple users. Now here I have a user 1, user 2. This is a user 1, user 2, and user 3, user 4, and then user 5. So profile is one profile can connect multiple users. One profile can connect multiple users. One profile can connect to the multiple users. But one user, any single user can connect only one profile. One user can connect only one profile. One user can connect to only one profile. Whereas profile can be connected to the multiple users. Profile can connect to the multiple users, but user can connect to only one profile. Now, whenever you are deleting the custom profile, you have to make sure that that profile is not associated with any users. That profile is not associated with any profile. Then only you can delete the custom profile. Now, any questions on this standard profile, custom profile, understanding on this?
Ma'am, I have a question, please. If the custom profiles are provided by Salesforce, why are they called custom?
Because
Is there a difference?
Salesforce nowadays, initial days, they were not providing the custom. Initial days, they were not providing the custom profile, but right now, along with the standard profile, they are providing the custom profiles also. The reason for this is read only, which is not mandatory for in the real time. Custom sales profile, custom marketing profile. I already have a marketing user, right? But they are giving me some more customization onto that custom marketing profile, support profile. They are just giving as a for example, for just an example, which we do not use it, but this is just to let you know that if you create a custom profile, how it looks like.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Now, what are the different type of profiles we have?
Standard and custom.
Standard and custom profiles.
Standard and custom.
Standard and custom.
Custom.
Right. So this question, we have not reached to that point yet, permission set. We are just talking about the profile. When we discuss about the more in depth, we will talk about the permission set. Right. So we have a two types, standard profile, custom profile. Now let's understand each one of them standard profile. Now there are so many standard profiles are there. There are so many standard profiles are there. So out of these 36 profiles, out of these 36 standard profiles, I'll just give you the information about few standard profiles which we might need it. Now, first one is a system administrator. System administrator. System administrator is a standard profile. System administrator is a standard profile. Now, this is one of the standard profile. Now, if I assign this profile to the user, if I assign this profile to the user, what will happen? That user will get a maximum permissions and access to the Salesforce platform. If I provide a system administrator profile, if I provide system administrator standard profile, the user will get a maximum permission of a access to the Salesforce platform. That means all the access, including the admin access, everything the person can do it. Everything the person can do it. And they can configure and customize the Salesforce application according to the specific needs and preferences. Usually, in the real time, system admin profile is assigned to the developers, admin team, architect, and business analyst. They will be having the system admin. They will be having the system admin. Usually, the person who is working on the Salesforce, that means implementing the code or implementing the lightning flows, or helping the client in order to solve the issues, they will have a system admin access. System admin access. System admin access is given to the developers, admin team, BA, architect. These are the members who will be given to the system admin access, profile access. Now the next one is a standard platform, one app user. Standard platform, one app users. So this is especially for the app exchange. This is especially for the app exchange. Now you have a different type of a app exchange. What is the app exchange here? Now you might get it here. Now, where is the option that is available? Otherwise, you can see here all the app exchanges. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. the option here. You can just search here in the Google, which is the App Exchange. appexchange.salesforce.com. appexchange.salesforce.com. What is this App Exchange? Basically, App Exchange is some tools, these are the tools. This is basically through the Salesforce, whatever the Salesforce functionalities are there. Through this Salesforce functionality, if you are not able to perform certain actions, to the Salesforce standard feature, you are not able to perform certain features. In that case, different companies, what they will do is they will release some applications, release some tools. By using that tool, you can perform the actions or you can perform certain activities with very quick. Instead of writing a programming or anything, you can go for it easily. You can install this App Exchange. In this App Exchange, there are few are billable. That means you need to pay the price. Few of them are free. Now, like this weather forecast, you cannot see in the Salesforce. Weather forecast, you cannot see in the Salesforce. Now, if you install this application for your developer edition, then what will happen? This App Exchange will give you the access to look at the weather forecast in the Salesforce. Like that, we have a different tools and applications which are available here. Few of them are chargeable, few of them are free. So there are many app exchanges are there based on the client needs. If it is a chargeable, then client is going to pay the amount. Client need to pay the amount. See here it says that paid version, right? That means it is paid one. It is here saying that free version. It is a free version. Like this, there are so many app exchanges are available. Now, in case if you want standard platform one app user, what is this? If I assign this profile to a user will have a permission to use the one custom application installed from the Salesforce App Exchange. That means if I assign this profile to the user, and if I have 10 app exchanges in Salesforce, once it is installed, where can you see the app exchange in the Salesforce? You can see in the Salesforce, go to the installed, search here installed. When you search here installed, you will see here installed packages. Now, what are the packages that you have installed? Everything you can see here. For example, if you have 10 packages that you have installed, out of 10 packages, they will get only one app exchange access if I give a Salesforce platform one app users. That means along with the custom applications, along with the Salesforce platform access, you can give one app exchange access. And the next one is a Salesforce platform user. If I give this profile to the user can have more than one custom application installed from the Salesforce App Exchange or a developer or in your org. And then we have a standard user profile. Standard user profile is very basic. If I assign a standard user profile to the user can edit, create a records, the one they are created. That means the one they have a owner of it. Wherever the owner is saying their name, only those records they can edit. And they can create it. Also, they can run the reports, dashboards. and they can view the Salesforce org also. They can view the Salesforce org. Now, similarly, we have a few more standard profile, which is called as a custom community user. Customer community user. Now, if I assign this profile to the user, users are allowed to log in through the Salesforce community user. Now I have a Salesforce here. I have a Salesforce org is there. Within the Salesforce org, I can create another box. I can create another box which is called as a community. That means here I have a Salesforce org. Salesforce org is nothing but where you can see all the objects, tags, fields, everything you can see. Now within the Salesforce, you can create another box. That means you can create another platform. Assume that this is another platform. Now you can create this platform. Whenever you create this platform, which is called as a customer community or a community, this is called as a community. Now this another platform is called as a community. If you want to log into this community, you need to have a community license. Like it is similar to the every street, you will have a community. Every street, there is some community which is available. So similar to that, here Salesforce also has a community where the partner user or a customer users, depending on the license, they can log in. One of the license we are talking about customer community users. So here customers can log into that community. Customers can log into the community and they can raise issues, cases, tickets, leads can be generated, right? They can view their data in the customer community user. Now, next one is a solution manager. If I assign a solution manager profile to the users, this profile is similar to the standard user. It is similar to the standard user. What is the standard user we have? Standard user is whatever the record that they have created, only they will have access to the one they are owned. That means wherever the lead owner is, their name is there, they can edit only those records, or else they can create a record, or else they can generate a report, run a report. That is a standard user. So those all access is given to the solution manager. Additionally, apart from the standard user license access, additionally, they can review the solution. Whatever the public specific solutions are there, public specification access is there, those all they can view. Now the next one is a marketing user. Now Salesforce is providing this profile in order to do some kind of a campaign, right? We have seen the campaign, marketing, whatever we can manage it. Those kind of a access, if we wanted to assign the users only related to the marketing, we can assign this profile. Now the next one is a contract user. Contract user. So this profile is basically the contract manager. It is most of the contract, like if we are dealing with any contracts, contract manager. So basically, if I assign this profile to the user, in that case, the profile of the contract manager allow a user to create, edit, activate, and approve the contracts on the platform. Now, the next one is a read-only. Read-only is nothing but, as the profile says, all the object you will have it, but it is just a read-only. You cannot edit. You cannot edit anything. And the next one is a charter moderate user. Access all the standard charter profile, groups, files, And you can edit, comment, post it, whatever you can do it using the charter user. You can do it through the charter users. These are the couple of standard profiles. These are the couple of standard profiles. Here, read only is a custom profile, but this is provided by the Salesforce. This is provided by the Salesforce. Now, properties of profile. Now we have seen what are these profiles. Let's search here profile. Now we have seen different profiles. What is the purpose of it? How they use it? We have seen this. Now, what are the properties of profile? Salesforce is provided 39 profiles. Salesforce is provided 39 profiles by default. Out of them, 4 are custom profiles. 4 are them custom profiles, and rest of them are standard profiles. And profiles cannot be created from the scratch. Remember this, we cannot create a profile from the scratch. We cannot create a profile from the scratch. There are 39 profiles here. Now 35 are standard profiles, 4 of them are a custom profiles. Now profile cannot be created from the scratch. That means whenever you are creating a profile, always you need to choose the existing profile. Whether it could be a standard, it could be a custom. Whether it could be a standard, whether it could be a custom. Now, when you look at the profiles here, now the highest permissions are which are available with this profile is a system admin. Highest profile which we have here, system admin. System admin has a highest profile. Now here, the lowest one is a minimum profile. There is something called minimum profile. What are the minimum profile we have? Now let's look at the profiles here. Now we have minimum access Salesforce. So minimum access Salesforce is the one, very minimum access to the Salesforce. So minimum Salesforce access. This is the lowest one. This is the lowest permission. This is the lowest permissions. And the highest permissions are system admin. And the highest permissions are system admin. Now highest permissions are system admin. This is the highest permission. Highest permissions are system admin. Now in between this, we have a few more profiles. That means in between this, from the highest to the lowest, in between there are around 39 profiles along with system admin and minimum access. We have a different profiles here. Each one of them we have a different profile. Now between the system admin and below that there is some profile. Just the difference between the system admin and system another profile is maybe some create access is not there or some edit access is not there. Like that they have created like this from the lowest to the highest. They have a all level of permissions. So that's the reason whenever you are creating a profile, do not create a profile from the scratch. By the way, anyway, it is not possible to create a profile from the scratch. You need to choose your profile, existing profile as a custom profile. Either you can choose a minimum Salesforce profile and then add on top of it whatever the client requested is. Let's assume that client is requested. We need an opportunity lead and case. We need a full access for this. We need a full access to this. That means we need to have a create, edit, read, modify, view, all of them, like a delete, all of them access we need it. Now, minimum permission does not have all of this. Minimum permission does not have all of this. It has just a view permission. It just has a view permission. So what you can do is You can create a new profile. Create a new profile. Create a new profile, which is a copy, existing one, take a copy of minimum Salesforce. You can take a copy of minimum Salesforce. Take a copy of minimum Salesforce here. Create it. Once it is created, whatever the client requirement is there, and customize that onto your new profile. Customize that into the new profile. Now you need to identify which profile is the nearest profile. Which profile is nearest profile? Because if you know that only this kind of a access that I need to do, only this kind of a access I need to do. Why to copy unnecessarily system admin? When I'm creating the new profile, this has a highest permissions. If I copy this here, it is going to copy the highest permissions. Then what you need to do? You need to remove whatever is not required for the client. Removing is a very time consuming. Removing is a very time consuming. If you take a minimum lowest Salesforce or whichever is the related to this, if you have any other profile which is related to the nearest to this access, you can take a copy of that. And on top of it, you can modify the latest client, whatever is required, you can modify it. So always try to find the nearest profile, then choose that profile. Now, if you do not know nearest profile, then choose the minimum Salesforce. Choose the what are the least profile access it has. Choose that. On top of it, add your own. So that is the easiest one. So profiles cannot be created from the scratch, but can be created by copying the existing profile, standard or a custom profile. Profiles are license dependent. Profiles are license dependent. We know this. And one user can have one profile, whereas one profile can have a multiple users. This is what we have seen. This is what we have seen. Is everybody noted down the notes? In the meantime, any questions on the profile?
In
Understand.
real time also we have the same count of profiles, ma'am. Is there any different count in real time?
Count is same.
Okay.
Take a notes and let me know. Is everybody taking the notes?
Yes.
Okay. So let's move on. Clone means it's similar to the what we have discussed, the clone. Right? So here, clone is nothing but a copy. Clone is nothing but a copy. In Salesforce terminology, clone is nothing but a copy. Now, navigation steps to create a profile, setup, administration, and there you have a profiles. Within the administration, you need to expand the users. There you can see option called as a profiles. Now click on that profile. Once you click on the profile, this is how the screen it is visible. This is how the screen is visible. Now before it was a 38 profiles. Before it was 38 profiles. Now they have created a 39. Now new profile, click on a new profile. Now, for this question, you only can answer here. Go to the company information. Now here, how many licenses are there for the Salesforce platform?
3.
3 licenses are there. Now, whenever I'm creating a profile for a one license, how many profiles can I create it here? 3 license means how many
3
profiles?
users.
3 profiles.
I can create it. Is that clear? 4. Why 4? Only 3 profiles we can create it. Okay. So is that clear, Jobin?
Ma'am, do we have this main agenda of creating the profiles?
Name is decided by the client. What should be the name? Whenever you are creating a custom profile, what should be the name of the profile is given by the client or else business analyst.
Ma'am, could you repeat it? I couldn't, like, there was a voice.
Okay. So can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Is the question is how can we decide a name of the profile? What is the question?
Like, whatever the profiles we are creating, no, from high level to low level, is these roles available for our work? Like, we have to create every time a role, or we do have already pre-installed it and directly we have to assume, like you said, no ma'am, that recently, like, every user have different types of different types of roles and futures. So for each and every role, you said you have to create a community, and the community you have to create a user, and the users you have to provide every license to them. So these licenses are available directly with the 38 options which are provided us, or we have to create in all these by checking, like, in 38 you have to again verify, or if you check once, then we will get all these, like,
Okay.
short, let it be a short, like,
Okay.
if
So
that
the
are
first
no, ma'am.
question is, we have a already standard profiles. Whatever the standard profiles are there, is this license is already allocated with the standard profiles? No. Whatever the Salesforce has provided, apart from that, you can create these many profiles. These many? No, wait a minute. Why we are saying here 3 profiles? No, total license is allocated. What is this? This is a user license. It is not a profile here. It is not a profile. We are talking about the user license. Here total license is 3. That means how many users can I create it? I can create a 3 users here. It is not a 3 profiles. It is not a 3 profiles. We cannot link. License is linked to the users. It is not linked to the profile. License is linked to the users. How many users I can create it per license? Profile is, in order to create a profile, you need a license. In order to create a profile, you need a license. Now let's go to the profile, click on new. Now you can choose the existing profile, but you cannot choose the license. Now you already have this system administrator, right? I can create an n number of profiles. License is, it just decide I can create a profile. When I'm creating a profile, I can create I need to choose a license and I need to create it. That means when I am saying like choose a license, I'm not choosing a license here. I'm choosing a profile. I'm choosing a profile. But here company information. Now company information, whatever this total license is there, this is about the user. How many users can I create it for the license? How many users can I create it for this particular profile? For this particular profile, you take any profile that is associated with the license. You take any profile that is associated to the license. Now here you have a license. Now license is License is going to give you the information how many users I can create it. How many users I can create it. How many users I can create it is in the company information. We have a user license. That is, it is going to explain you that how many users can be created. But how many profiles can I create a license? Nothing like that. You can create whatever you want. You can create whatever. So if I have a 3 license, can I create only 3 profiles? No, it is not like that. For example, let's go ahead and take the, here it says that Salesforce. Salesforce is 2 license. Okay. Now I'm taking the Salesforce license. Now I'm creating a profile. Let's say here, I'll say here system 1. I created 1 profile. Now again, I'll click on a profiles. I'll click on a new profile here. And again, I'm clicking on the, and I'll take a system administrator or a system administrator. Again, I'm taking the Salesforce. I'll say here, system 2. Click on save. And again, I can click on a profile. Again, I can click on a new profile. I can create a same license. 1 more profile I can create it. Let me take a system admin. Now here, system 3. Now so far, how many I have created? 3 I have created. Let me create a 1 more. Same license, I'm using the same license, but how many profiles I have created? 4. Right?
Profile is nothing but permission says to the users only, right? So we can create a number, I think. License means the login ID and users, we cannot create more than 3. That's the thing, right?
Right. So there is a no restriction how many profiles you can create it here. There is no restriction how many profiles you create. There is no restriction. License is linked to the profile, but license does not restrict that how many profiles can be created. It is a restriction of how many users can be created. How many users can be created per license? How many users can be created per license?
And in real time also, I mean, the user license will be the same thing as it is displaying here.
Sorry?
In the real time also, I mean, the license will be the same as it is displaying here, or how, I mean, the company can buy more in number of licenses, depends on it.
Now we have 24 licenses here. You will not see all 24 licenses in the real time because client says that I do not need an identity license. Okay, do not give that license. Client says that I do not need a work.com XOR proxy user. These licenses I do not need it. So you will not see in the real time. It's depending on the client what they are discussing with the Salesforce, because whenever we are requesting a Salesforce, a client should give a documentation to the Salesforce, what type of a license they are expecting, what type of a users they have. Those are details you should specify to the Salesforce. Based on that, we will get a license.
And the company can buy more than 2 Salesforce license, or will it be restricted
They can
to
buy
only 2?
more than 2 licenses.
Okay.
Now, this is the company information. We have a 24, right? So this 24 is a maximum licenses, but in the real time, we might not use a 24 licenses. We hardly use a 5 licenses or 6 licenses or 8 licenses. For each licenses, what is the total number of licenses is required is decided by the client. Yes, it is changed based on the price.
What is partner community? Is, I mean,
Partner community, customer community are kind of a different community that I have explained. Now, in the Salesforce, you can create some kind of a community. Now, this is a Salesforce. Within the Salesforce, that means I don't want to give the access to the Salesforce. I don't want to give the access to the Salesforce. But within the Salesforce, I can create some community. I can create some community here, which is similar to the sites, like an Amazon site, similar to some website, right? In this site, user can log in and perform whatever the action is there. They can perform it here. That means they have a Salesforce access, but they cannot log into the Salesforce. They can only log into the community. Community is something the users can perform certain actions, not all the actions, and they cannot log into the Salesforce. They cannot see the, basically in Salesforce, when we log in, I can see the page layout, I can edit the page layout, I can see the sharing setting, everything is available. Now, in the community, we are not giving those access. It is similar like some website. Community is similar like a website where the users or customers can log into this community with the Salesforce credentials with a different level of access, and they can log in here and they can perform certain actions. Only maximum 2 to 3 objects they can view there.
Okay.
Now here, click on a new profile. So when we are clicking on a new profile, you need to choose the existing profile here. You need to choose the existing profile, which is a user license. What are the user licenses there? There is no restriction on that. Now, the requirement is it says that create a new profile, Tata Salesforce admin. Now assume that we are working with a Tata company. We are working with Tata company. Now create a new profile, Tata Sales Admin. Description is it. Create a new profile, Tata Sales Admin, where this profile should have a following access. Where this profile will have a following access, where it is a sales lightning application, marketing lightning application. In the real time also, you will see the requirements same like this. In the real time, you see a ticket or you see a story which is similar to this. Description is a create a new profile. They will give the profile name. What is the access they should have? A sales lightning application, marketing lightning application, marketing lightning application. Now, what is that mean? Sales application and marketing application. When you click on a view all, click on the app launcher, click on view all. Now here I can see service application, marketing application, community application, Salesforce, charter, content, these all application I can see. So what is client is requested is they are saying that they wanted to see only related to marketing application, sales application. Rest of the things they do not want to see these applications. They do not want to see this application. That means whatever the profile that we are creating, that profile should have a access to the marketing application, sales lightning application. Only these two should be visible to the users who are assigned to the Tata profile. In real time also, it is a login.salesforce.com. It's not a test dot. In real time, production is a login.salesforce.com. Now, in the real time, we have a production, right? And then we have a sandboxes, right? Or we have a scratch or sandbox, scratch or. Now production is always, it is a login.salesforce.com. Production is login.salesforce.com. Login.salesforce.com. And then sandboxes are test.salesforce.com. Sandboxes are test.salesforce.com. sandbox or a scratch, or it is a test.salesforce.com. So you have a two things. One is a login.salesforce.com, which is nothing but a production. Sandbox or a scratch or are always test.salesforce.com. Test.salesforce.com. Clear, Jyoti? Arvind, is it clear? Okay. So let's go ahead and create. So this is the requirement. Now let's go ahead and create a profile. Now let's go to the Salesforce. Here, let me search profile. Now here, users, administrator users, click on a profile. Now I need to click on a profile. Now whenever we are creating a profile, what profile can handle? What a profile can handle? Whenever we creating a new profile, create a new profile. Whenever we are creating a new profile, what it can handle? It can handle what is the custom app visibility, custom app setting. That means what is the custom app? Custom app is nothing but application. By clicking on the app launcher, click on a view all, then you can see all the custom applications, right? What are the custom application? Can we see here? Can we see? And then tab setting. Tab setting. Profile has a tab setting. Tab setting is nothing but whenever you open a Salesforce, what are the navigations item that we should see? Tab setting is nothing but whenever I open a Salesforce here, whenever I open a Salesforce, whether it is a sales application or a marketing application, whenever I open that particular application, what is the here in the navigation item, what are the tabs that should I need to review? What is the tabs that I need to review here? Tab setting. Then we have a administrative permissions. Administrative permissions. We have a administrative permissions. Administrative permissions are all the admin permissions, like a roles, transfer a record, view all data, APIs, reporting, all the administrative work. Those permissions are in the administrative permission. And next one is a general user permissions. General user permissions. General user permissions are nothing but generic one, like a sending an email, app exchange access, right? Lead related access, converting a lead related access. So those all will be available in the general user permission. Then finally, we have a whatever the standard objects we have, whatever the standard object. So for the standard object, what should be the permissions? Right? What should be the permission for the standard object means we have a read access, create access, edit access, delete access, right? View all access, modify all access, modify all access. These are the different access we are available on the standard object permission. These are the standard object permission. Custom object also same thing. And then we'll have a session settings, session setting permissions. And then at the profile level, we also have a password policies. Password policies. Even on the profile level also, I have a password policies permissions. That means whenever I'm creating a profile, I need to see what are the custom application that this person should be visible. Whoever the person is assigned to this profile, what is that person should be able to see? What is the tab setting for this profile? What is the administrative setting for this profile? What is the general user setting for this profile? What is the standard for object permission for this profile? What is the session settings for this profile? What is the password policies for this profile? That means whenever we are creating a new profile, first thing is custom app setting. That means block the users from accessing the particular custom app. I do not want the user to access the service lightning application, then block them, right? If we want to disable certain applications, then we can use a custom app setting. Visible default, the options are visible means it will be visible that particular application. Default is nothing but by default, it will be default showing up. Now tab setting is specify whether this tab is visible in its associated app or not, whether this particular tab should be displayed or not. Whenever we are doing a setting, there are some options. Default on is the option. That means the tab appears in the app's navigation bar. By default, it will be appear in the navigation bar. If I say default off, it will not appear in the navigation bar, but when you search in the app launcher, it will be visible. And another option is tab hidden. Tab hidden. The tab is not available in the app launcher as well as in the navigation items also you will not see. So these are the three options which are available. Default on, default off, tab hidden. Is everybody noted down the steps?
Give me a second when we are writing this content.
Sorry?
Just copying this tab setting confirmation content.
Let me know once you are done.
Yeah, ma'am.
So tab setting will have a default on, default off, tab hidden. These are the pick list options. These all are pick list option. Default on means by default it is visible on the navigation bar. Default off means it will not visible on the navigation bar, but when you search in an app launcher, you can see that particular tab or object. Tab hidden means completely it is hidden from navigation bar as well as the app launcher.
Ma'am, if we search like in the tool, if we search this, how we can know what is the apps that is defaultly on, off, and hidden?
Yeah, I'll show you that. In profile, we can see that. Is it done? Hidden tabs, you cannot view it. So that is the option there. Hidden means I do not want to view. If you want to view it, update the profile. Update from the hidden to the tab hidden to the default on.
Do we have any specific profiles for this, ma'am?
Do we have?
Any specific options for them, like as you tab on, tab off is there, no? For these, there is any specific what is that? We can say that.
Wait for that. You will understand when we created a new profile.
Yeah, ma'am.
So next one is a administrative permissions. Administrative permissions are all admin permissions like all APIs, reports, users, roles, transfer record, view all. Now let's go ahead and create a profile in the meantime. So let's go to here, click on a profile. Where is it? Now here, users, click on a profile. We are creating the requirement for the data consultants. Now click on a new profile. When you click on a new profile, it will ask you which one do you want to copy. Let's copy the system administrator. I'll say here, Tata Sales Admin. Tata Sales Admin. Now I'll click on a save. I'll click on a save. The first one which is available, let's click on a edit option here. What is the first one? It says custom app setting. Now for the custom app setting, by default, I need a sales lightning application. Sales, I do not need it. Sales console, I do not need it. And this chatter, I do not need it. These all I do not need. Service console, I do not need. And which are the one if you do not want to client, where the users are there for this profile. If you say that these are the one which we do not want to show the users. I just need a marketing and sales, that's it. And rest all should be disabled. Rest all should be disabled. Now here visible, I'm making it as a disabled. Now this is for the custom app setting. Next one is a tab setting. Now tab setting, for example, if I say here, by default, it says default on, off. These are the options which are available here. These are the options which are available here. Now, for example, task is by default, it is on. Task is by default, it is on. That means whenever I log in with the user who has access to the profile, if I log in as that user, if it says default on, then you can see the task there already. Now I'll show you that, hold on it. And the next one is the administrative permissions. Administrative permissions are, these are the different administrative permissions. These are different administrative permissions. That means I can do all kind of a modify all data, right? If you have a convert lead, modify all data and sharing, manage users, right? So these all the options we can see, transfer, record. These all are the admin access. These all are admin access, view all data, view all user, view all profile, right? So these all different admin access. The next one is a general user permission. General user permissions are related to the cases, lead, generic, like a convert lead. These all options are available here in generic. Next one is a standard object permission. Now, by default, it says read, create, edit, delete, view all, modify all. By default, it is enabled. You can deactivate this if you do not want. And then we'll have a session settings. What is the session settings? If the person is not available for 2 hours back, if the person is not available he went for a break and he was not available in front of his system for almost 3 hours. So as soon as it crossed the 2 hours, deactivate the session. Now you can set your own time here within 8 hours or within 1 hour or within 30 minutes, within 15 minutes. If the person is not available in front of the system within 15 minutes, then log out the session, log out the session. And the session security level, high assurance, in case if they are re-logging in, what kind of a security that we wanted to put. Then we have a password policies. So this is how it looks like. The administrative permissions, all the administrative permissions here, which are nothing but user, role, transfer, record, view all data, view profile, view users. That is administrative. General user permissions are like a convert, lead, flows, right? Email, app exchange, or cases. And the next one is a standard object permissions. For the standard object permissions, we have a permission that are controlling the read, create, edit, delete, view all. Now practical, each one of them, we will see it tomorrow. We will see it tomorrow. What are the visible default, whatever you have that, by default, we will see tomorrow. So everything we will see tomorrow. Today, let's understand what is the each one of them. Just take a notes of this, create a profile, administrative permissions, general user permission, standard object permissions. We have not discussed the approval point. We have not discussed the role. So I think this is not the right time to discuss role and approval. Is everybody noted down? Okay. How about offline? Okay, so let's move on. Modify all. Then the next one is the session settings, password policies. Session settings are like how many minutes or hours of inactivity elapsed. That means how long the user was inactive in front of the system. So those kind of a settings we can do it in the session setting. And you can verify the identity with multi-factor authentication. You can verify with multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication is nothing but whenever you are logging in, you need an approval from your mobile or some kind of a PIN code that you need to enter, right? So similar like a bank, when you are logging into the bank, you will receive some digits. You will digit some 5-digit number. Now you need to enter that verification number. You need to enter that verification number. Those kind of a multi-factor authentication, you can use it. And next one is a password policies. Next one is password policies. Password policies are similar to the whatever we have seen yesterday. These are the same, but these are specific to the profile. These are specific to the profile. So what are the org password policies are there? That org password policies will override the profile password policies. Whenever we are creating a profile, we are not choosing a license. What I'm choosing the existing profile, right? So when I'm choosing the existing profile, ultimately that existing profile will have a link to the license. Now I cannot say which license is required for the custom profile. I cannot say that. That it's you have to decide it. If the requirement is system admin access profile, we need another profile. If client says that we need an admin profile only for the client, we need an admin profile only for the client. So what in that time what I'll do, I'll click on a new profile. I'll choose the existing profile as a system admin profile. When I choose the existing profile as a system admin profile, by default below the license is going to display as a Salesforce license, right? So based on that, you need to select which license it is. Now, if you want a Salesforce platform license, you need to choose the profile related to that particular license. Now here, let's go ahead and click on a new profile. Now let's click on a new profile. When we click on a new profile, am I choosing the license here? Am I choosing the license here? I'm not choosing the license. What I'm doing, I'm choosing the existing profile. That existing profile is linked to the license, right? So that will be decided there. Is everybody
Automatic. Yes, yes. Is it automatically the license will be taken, right?
right? But when you are choosing a profile, you should make sure that which profile you are choosing it.
Yes, like system admin, different profiles. Which profile you have to select that now?
And also when you are choosing a profile, sometimes you need to cross verify that profile is linked to the license Salesforce or Salesforce platform or not. Sometimes what happens is you might feel that this profile is I can use it. This profile, I can use it. So whenever before creating it, check the license. Do you need this license? If you do not need this license, then go for another profile. Check this. Do you need this license? Yes, it is needed. Then create it. Is everybody noted down the notes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now then we'll have to edit the profile. That we will see it tomorrow. So you guys have understood what is the options are available in the profile. When we create a new profile, as soon as you create a profile, you will not see anything. As soon as you create a profile, you will not see, you just create a profile name. Once the profile is created, then you will edit that particular profile. Once that profile is created, then you will edit that profile. When you edit it, those are the options that are visible here. Now tomorrow we will see here each one of them, like what is the visibility, default, how to disable it, everything we will see practically tomorrow.